Hey Dietrich, how you doing? Thanks so much for submitting early. This week, of course, web digital media. One example, one example of a website, and then one example of your digital media. And then, of course, you have packaging design, and then one example of publication design. Okay, so let's jump over here now. You're showing your website. Okay, now one thing I want you to understand is that this is portfolios. So what does that mean? That means that when we come into website here, you want to show probably 3 or maybe 4 pages deep on the site, enough for the viewer to be able to look at the site and gather your design elements as well as the layout and your design choices. Okay, so the viewer would immediately see 4 pages or 2 pages, and then turn the page to see another 2 pages, and then go, hey, that's pretty cool, I want to see more. So what you would do is leave a link to the website. Now this is an electronic PDF portfolio, so of course that's specific to this medium. Of course you wouldn't leave a link on a printed page. Well, I mean, I think that's obvious, but not always. So that's what I would recommend as far as that goes. Now, let me see. What else did I want to talk about? Okay, before we move here, this is your Flash media. Yep, that's another thing I wanted to mention is that, okay, so over here we have, we have the website. So that'll be the link. Now we see that the website's fully operable. Okay, now personally, I think this image is too big. I think you're trying to define your whole site with an image. As a matter of fact, that image goes almost clear down to the fold. Another thing is that when we roll over that image, it changes, and that's really, really distracting, especially for a site that is so large and that an image is so prominent on that portion of the fold. Now, another thing I notice is this is not a responsive site. Okay, as you can see, it doesn't reformat based on the screen size and resolution. Okay, so that's something that just you want to be aware of. Okay, because that's big today, big, huge. So you may want to consider redesigning your site responsively if you move forward in this with your, once you move forward with final edits to your portfolio. But again, that's just so distracting, especially on that first page. I mean, everywhere you scroll, you're going, what? You see what I'm saying? So then we have, that's good use of image. I would anchor these somewhere, either at the top line or the baseline of those images, but having them float in the middle, either align their baselines or align their top lines, but don't have them kind of sitting here because it looks like that type is just kind of floating in space. Okay, and then one thing I noticed, services, this is really, really difficult to read because you have very, very little typographic hierarchy on this page. I would not center align these. I think it just creates some really nasty negative space. I would just left align these whole text blocks here as opposed to center align. Okay. Shop tour, again, you've got that huge image. If you're going to show images, you might, show images. You say shop tour, but you only have one image of a guy looking at the exit. That's not much of a tour. See what I'm saying? Pick 12 images and create a matrix. If that's what you want to do, it's fine. If you want to show the shop. But definitely use images like this and not just one big one of a nondescript image of a guy looking out a garage door. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, presumably you want to show the features of the shop, which are the straighteners, the frame straighteners, and and these lifts and all of that high-tech stuff. So why are we showing the garage door? See what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. All right, so that's the website. Now, another thing, this is cool too. Good job there. I would form this. I would form this out instead of having this static information. I would definitely form that out and have it submittable so that that would just show another level of expertise. Let's get out of the website right now, and I want to go back to your portfolio as the way you're showing it. So, I want to show you something real quick, just an idea of how to present portfolio. Where did it go? Hang on one sec. Here it is. This is one of my favorite examples to use. You've seen it before because I've used it before because I think it's a very well done student portfolio. I just want to show you how the web stuff was presented. Okay, see how it's presented actually on screens? That's kind of a cool way to go. I would recommend that you try to mock up your work on actual screens. Okay, this right here, this flash media brings me to another issue. Is that I'm not going to try to open this again, because when I open this, it just all it does is send my. Well, here I'll show you. It's just the same thing. It's Flash is trying to open up, and I'm going to get a non-response here. There it is. See, this is going to go to non-response, and if I come over here, that's, well, you can't see that off screen, but that's going to start saying Flash is not responding when I go into my Force Quit application. So, yep, there it is right there. See. Flash not responding, which means I have to force quit Flash every time I try to open your page. Now, why am I bringing that to your attention? The reason I'm bringing that to your attention is this, is that you can actually, now yes, this being digital media, you can actually embed your little banners right in here and have them active. You'll have to research how to do so, but this is a PDF. You can definitely embed active multimedia right in this PDF and have it fully operable. Okay, then we have package design, and I think this piece is good. I think one of the smartest things with this piece is this production file here, where you're showing that you understand that you don't ink the whole die line. You just ink the parts that are going to be seen. And what's that going to show in an employer, Detrick? That's going to show in an employer that you understand that, you know, not inking the non-visible parts is going to save this company. It could be millions of dollars throughout the lifespan of the product. Certainly hundreds of thousands, most definitely, just by inking those little areas. So that's good die line. Good job there. You got your fold lines good. Is that a cut line? Okay, I see you got your cut lines. I would just mock those cut lines up right there. Let me see. Yeah, you have that marked as a cut line. Or what is that? I don't know what that is. You don't have that marked, that little 4-inch. That right there, you don't have that marked, that green line. So we don't know what that is. Okay, but other than that, I think that is a good representation of a die line. Very good. Then we have your labels. Outstanding. Really good. You show it enough variation in color that nobody's going to pick up sweet and spicy when they're meant to grab Carolina Tang. Or nobody's going to grab Carolina Tang when they meant to grab Smoky Mesquite. The color differentiation is phenomenal. Very, very, very good work here. A little bit funny with the size of the kettle cooker back there. It seems to be a little big right through there. It's just creating this, like, a lot of yellow up there. Wondering if you can't close down the bottom of that. Now, you know what? Maybe that's going to be too difficult to do. And the reason I say that now that I look at it is because the top of your labels are die lined out to die cut out to represent that. So let's leave that alone. Okay, and then your mock-up shots are great. Let's see these. Good job. You know, you got this wonderful, this is going to confuse some people, but let me describe this, okay? Where is this light coming from, folks? Okay, I think it's overlit right there. That light right there, Detrick, is too harsh. You want shadows, but you don't want light sources. You want subtle, dispersed shadows. So that light, whatever that light is too close. All right, so anyways, for those of you wondering where that backlight is coming from, Detrick has set up what looks like 2 poster boards, set up his subject, and then I'm guessing from the lights in the bottles, there's a light in the front over here somewhere, maybe another light over here somewhere, but there's definitely light back and above, back here somewhere, folks. That's, and guessing on the shadows, I'm going to say it's right there. And it looks like a narrow spot because you're seeing the differentiation in shadow. So that light is too close to your subject. We can clearly see that created by these kind of harsh shadows there. These are a little bit better because they have what you want. Let me tell you what you want. You're shooting for. You're shooting for very, very soft shadows. Okay. The last thing there's that product. Okay. Yes. This is what I was going for next, was this product shot with, all right, man, good job. Publication design. Let's take a look at publication design. Hang on one second. Okay, hang on one second. Sorry about that. I looked out the window and I didn't see my dog, so I had to rush out there and see. He was safe though. He was just waiting by the back door. Anyway, so all right. So here's what we got now. I've got your car show program up here now. Let's take a look at the cover. And the first annual Dream Cruise, but you don't say what first annual Dream Cruise is. So in other words, if this is sitting on a table and somebody looks at it, they're going to go, I wonder what that is. So my recommendation there would say first, well, of course, would be first annual Dream Cruise car show. Okay, now the typeface you've used, Dream Cruise, that would be, you're making a recognition between the event and this typeface. Okay, so I would use that typeface for the event. So first annual Dream Cruise car show. But I would not use it again for your subheads because you've already created this relationship with the event and Dream Cruise. Now you're trying to use that same relationship with the thanks to our sponsors and thank you and featured events, and that's just not how it just won't work like that. You want to delineate another headline, okay? I think that this is good for a cover, the first annual. I think the gradient in the Dream Cruise is okay. Right down here, you've got the same gradient in the 3rd to 6th, which actually creates a relationship between these two. Okay, which is okay, but I don't think you need the gradient in this piece right here. I would take the gradient out of that. Conversely, I wouldn't center align this because what ends up happening is, well, you know, we've talked about this. What ends up happening is that when you center align and you have a text in any of the 2nd or 3rd lines that is shorter than this text on the 1st line, you get kind of this triangle. So right now, and right now the tires and the back of the car are also adding to this imaginary triangular line. So the point of the triangle is down here, which means that you look at this composition, and as a point of a triangle, we know what's apt to happen. It's going to topple. That's why this looks like it's going to topple this composition. And the same thing basically with this one is because you've got this triangle down here too. Okay, so I think it's really dangerous to center align anything other than a wedding invitation. I don't recommend doing it. I haven't center aligned anything in my career in probably 25 years, with the exception of wedding invitations and formal invitations to formal events. So what I would do here is I would either span that date here. Actually, you don't need to make a wish. You don't need to sponsor. You show your sponsor in the cover at all. Your sponsor will come later. What I would do is just say, I would use the location. So you have Dream Cruise Car Show first annual. You got the image. Over here you have the date. And then over here you have, or over here maybe you have the location. Or you could take the date and the location and right align both of those over here on the right side of the composition. As far as the back cover goes, the reason I've got this right here, this line, guideline right here, that's the center line of the page. And I drew that there so you can see that you're encroaching that center line with your logos and with your type here. So that composition, that whole thing right there is not centered within that part of the composition. I wouldn't recommend these giant logos right here because right now it's just taking away any kind of chance there is for hierarchy on the page. What I would do is I would say, special thanks to our sponsors. Just show the car, okay, and then just show your sponsors down here. You know, that way you're not muddying up this whole beautiful composition, this whole cover with all these assorted logos being presented right on top of each other. Let's move to the next page. This page now, again, you've got those featured, though that type style up there. It's the gradient is making it really, really difficult to see. Do you even need featured events and thank you? Don't need thank you there because it's not introducing anything to that page. We have this is we don't need that at featured events. We can see that what we have here. We can see what we have here. What I would do here is this page right here, you have a tendency, an overwhelming tendency to want to place everything in boxes. Okay, now the images themselves are creating boxy effect because they're different sizes and they're taking up different parts of the grid. Then you've got this is in a box, this colored box, this is basically in a box, this is basically in a box. Okay, how do we combat that? Let's get rid of the color on the background, okay? And don't put your subheads in these color bars. Just just bring them right down here, let them have a relationship with the image and a relationship with the page instead of locking them up in jail in these yellow boxes. Okay, same thing with this. Don't lock this up in jail. It didn't do anything. It doesn't need to be locked up. Neither does this. See what I'm saying? Okay, right down here, baseline. This would be aligned. These baseline grids would be aligned, and then the author would be off to the bottom. You have to figure something out here because you're encroaching the bottom of the no print zone, so there's not going to be any room once you align those baselines. So you have to figure that out. Okay, all right, remove the gradient from this page. I wouldn't use bullets all the way down here. This is enough set up that this is a schedule of events so that you can just give times instead of bullets. Can you hear my dog? Sorry, he keeps on ruining your critique here, but yeah, he's going off. So he's about to go off on a squirrel. Anyway, okay, so schedule events, and then that's what I would do. Again, take these out of jail, take these out of jail, get rid of the gradient in the background so that we don't have this red box. Hold on. I am so sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, so you don't have all the boxiness. And then finally, my last and final suggestion here would be not to center align these because you're creating this symmetrical white space, and it's just not an attractive way to set type. Okay, that's what I got. One final suggestion. Remember, in graphic design, I don't call it an unwritten law, but a lot of people do. I think it's a very, very important thing. Everything on your page needs to be aligned with something. So for example, you've got burnout contest that seems like it could closely with a little bit of technique here, could be aligned with one of these, okay, or at least with one of the lines in here. Do you see what I'm saying? So show and shine is not lined up with the baseline of concert, so that's causing a kind of a weird relationship. Then you have this is almost aligned, but see what I mean about alignment? It's kind of tricky, and I'm over 16 minutes. I did not want to do that, that's for sure. This is too long of a video, so I'm so sorry. But anyways, just wanted to get those comments to you, and let me know your reactions. If you have any questions, comments, or other, please let me know. All right, thanks, Detrick.